the sun shine in today. I'm trying to make this darkness go away. I'll paint with colors and I'll sing until my lungs give out. I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. And I will leave my windows open so that I can hear the sound of people talking and the wind blowing in the trees.
So we're preparing this area for our new in-ground garden. And in the process, we decided there are a couple trees that we'd like to take down. And you can see we've got a big old dead locust tree. But the good thing about this though, is that before we clear it, the goats get a really good, they have a nice little thing to play on, don't you? You have a nice thing to play on, don't you? Yeah? Oh, goodness. Opal. You can tell the games of King of the Hill or King of the tree trunk will never end out here until we move it. But sadly, this will all have to be moved because we're actually standing in the area where our new in-ground garden is going to be. Mark's already driving some posts so that we can have a nice gate that leads into it. So what you guys see behind me, which is the existing fence for our doe field, our main run for the goats, will be gone. That'll all be open. Are you having fun on spring break? Almost there?
Before the end.
Gotta take a breather?
So our freeze line, we try to get past 36 here. Some people say you can get away with 32, but
yeah,
we do have some cold temps and just like making
You're
sure.
hitting a water table, aren't you? It's sloshy down there.
Yeah, it's wet down there.
That's crazy.
You can tell by the mud, it's like paste.
Yeah, it's like the clay mud.
So it's like trying to get toothpaste out of your postal diggers, which stinks.
Which is weird because we actually just did that post down there and that soil was perfect. This soil, not so much. That's why you've been hearing that in the background. I'm trying to bang it out of there. One of the reasons that we decided to move our in-ground garden over here to inside of our goat pen and actually to reconfigure a little bit of their pastures. Number one, we're building a duck pen, a brand new big duck pen that's taken up a good portion of where our old in-ground garden used to be. And then we were thinking like, well, where are we going to do an in-ground garden? Are we even going to do it? But I really like to do both. I love doing the raised garden beds that we're building up, and I love doing in-ground gardening because it just really saves you some money on the soil. But soil's often overlooked. A lot of people think that any dirt anywhere is going to be good enough to grow food, and that's just a common misconception. So we actually started our homestead on an old retired cornfield. It had been farmed for years and years and years. And you might think that you'd go into, you know, an overgrown farmer's field that, you know, has maybe had like a year or two off, that's enough to let that soil regenerate, and it's really not. We had to do a lot of amending to our soil. I think a lot of people see agricultural land and think that'd be a great place to put a garden because they grow plants and they grow food there year after year. But actually it strips the land of nutrients. It takes a lot from the ground and there's not a lot being given back. A lot of times that's why the farmers here do rotational crops, is to try to restore some of those nitrates for the crops for the next year. But it really does steal a lot of nutrients from your land. So when we first started gardening here, it was not easy. It was not easy at all. And we were newbies and we kind of had that same mindset that all ground is the same ground and it will all grow food, and learned really quick that that's just not the truth, that we had to come and amend these soils. So that is exactly why we've chosen to do this in our goat pen. This area here stays green most of the year because it's in a little bit of a lower area, but it has really good drainage. But what that means is that it gets green first in the spring and it stays green longer in the fall time, which means our donkeys, our goats, llamas in the past, and horses have all spent a lot of time on this ground. And what that means is that there's been years and years of amendment from bush hogging down native plants. There's been a lot of manure dropped here. I actually used to put a lot of our manure back here in a pile. So over time, we've kind of amended, along with the animals that we've put on this ground, have amended it to make it perfect for an in-ground garden. Now that's not to say that we're not going to add more nutrients to it, that we're not going to add more amendments, because the better the soil, the better the food, the bigger it grows, and the better it fills your stomach. So that's why we've decided to use this area. You know, when Mark kind of had this idea, I was like, why in the world would we move our garden again? Because trust me, we've moved our in-ground garden 4 or 5 times. And I just was not in love with the idea of it. But then when he pointed out this area, I thought even more so that he was crazy, because we'd have to put up fences. The goats are in here, the goats will get in it. But then I started to think about permaculture and to think about the amendments that these animals have actually been doing to the soil, and then realized Mark is a genius and knew all along what he was talking about, because I never give him enough credit, right babe? He's an unsung hero on the homestead, that's for sure. Goats, come on guys. Dilly, no! Guys, he's dropping a tree. Yeah! 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 Go! Yeah! 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 Go! Go! Never seen a bunch of goats want to kill themselves so bad. I treat you guys pretty good. Why you want to do that? All right, now you guys can go investigate. Now you can go. Goodness, they cannot wait to get over there. Yeah. Yeah, it did. This is good. Dilly, this is what you're wanting to sacrifice your life for? Is a good horn scratch?
It's always in the ground so they can fly around.
Oh, that's good. Jeez. Like it was alive. Dilly, is this worth it? Is it worth risking your life? She's the one that kept trying to run over there. You think you're a big boy, huh? She thinks she is so big. You think you're so big, don't you, Chalky? Don't you, little chicken hawk? I'm just always amazed. And you guys can tell I've already got that back on. We had 70 degrees on Monday. It's Saturday and there's snow on the ground and it's in the 30s. I am a little bit stressed though because the temperature drop and milk testing starts tomorrow. It's my first time milk testing, which means I have to pull these kids off of their dams for a full 24 hours. I really am weary on this. Mostly just because this is something new. I've never done milk testing before, and I feel stressed about pulling the kids from their dams for 24 hours. But they're resilient, and the data that this will provide in the long run for the health of my herd is well worth it. And we got little Miss Chicken Hawk. You're a week old today. Happy week birthday. She's so little. It's so cold out too. I feel so bad for him. Yes. You a sweet one? Are you a sweet one? Are you a sweet one? Of course you are. Let's put you down and let you play. Easy now. Here we go. Have a good day. Go down with your brother under the heat lamp. Oh, nice and warm, huh, brother? The redo has started and it's a mess. Ugh. With milk testing happening, basically our first milk out is tonight, and then we start weighing and testing milk tomorrow. But I am such a procrastinator. I've waited until the day before we're milk testing to say, I need to really redo my milking room so that my milk machine is set up. But I'm gonna go ahead and redo my milking room because now it's a screaming wreck and it must be cleaned up before we start our milk out tonight at 6. It's 3 o'clock right now. I've got 3 hours to get it all under control. I think I can do it. Setting up this new milk machine, which I got from Simple Pulse, to kind of help me with my milking endeavors this year because I do suffer from carpal tunnel. My hands have already been going numb with just milking Willow every now and then to keep the pressure off because she's such a heavy producer. So it's actually really important that I try to take care of my hands so that they last me longer. So I need to try to figure out where I'm going to put the Simple Pulse. And I think I'm going to put it actually on the wall where it says home is where the hurt is. So let's go ahead and get the wall mount installation up, and then we're going to see if we can get the Simple Pulse machine on the bracket. It's going to be interesting. I really hope this makes a big difference in my milking routine, and I know it's going to. And it took me a long time to pull the trigger on this, but I'm really hoping that this helps with my hands and it makes milking go quicker. So I got my bracket set up according to my directions. So we're gonna see if I can get this on the bracket. Now I should be able to slide this up and over. And I did make sure that was nice and level. We're gonna go in before we, just to make sure. Yep, it's level. That was the only thing they said, make sure it's level, so I made sure it's level. So let me see if I can get this lifted up and on here. Get caught. I did it! Mark just came in here and was like, why didn't you ask me to help? I'm like, yeah. Sometimes you just want to know you can do things yourself. And got my milk machine up. This milk machine from Simple Pulse is actually a machine that can handle 2 goats. So whereas on milking this year I'll have 12 goats total, that will be 6 trips to get girls in here, which will make it a lot faster for me. It'll make it a lot less stressful for them. So I'm hoping all the way around that it just makes us a little bit more successful and makes us work better as a team. Because really when you're milking, it is a team effort. It takes you and it takes your animals and it takes some training and a lot of patience. I mean, like a lot of patience, but it's all totally worth it in the end. So I need to get my attachments with the inflations that actually go up onto the teat on the udder and to see how far they reach, because I've actually got 2 milk stands now. Actually, I have a total of 3. I have my utility stand back here and I have 2 milk stands over here that you guys will see here in just a minute. So let's see if we can get a little bit more done because I'm tired. It's up. I've got it assembled. I do not know if this, with the milking lines that I've got hung up here and over here, if that's actually gonna be able to reach my does while I'm milking. My stands are a little bit on the taller side, so for Nigerian dwarfs that could be a little tricky. So I do have like a ramp, but I'm trying to figure out how's the best way to set up this room. And it might change. I might get this and start milking and say, nope, I don't like it, and then redo the whole thing, which makes my head spin a little bit. But if that's what has to happen, that's what has to happen, because this is to make my life easier. And if the lines don't reach my girls comfortably 2 at a time, then it kind of defeats the whole purpose. So I'm just gonna get a little creative and see what I can do with it. But right now, look, it's beautiful. Sorry guys, I kind of got ahead of myself and was so tired getting ready for milk testing that I forgot to show you the rest of the setup for the milk room, but don't worry, we'll get to that. What I've got in this box here though is what I need for milk testing. I've got my state calibrated milk scale, I've got my invoice because nothing is free, and I've got these little test tubes. This little pill in the bottom turns the milk orange, and it's actually a preservative to help the milk to remain testable in transit to the lab. So I'll catch you guys next time. We'll be milk testing. I hope that you are all staying safe out there and being kind to one another. God bless you, and we'll catch you all the next one. Bye, y'all.